2025 South Carolina Department of Transportation Commission meeting to order. Please remember to silence your cell phones if you haven't done so already. Since our March meeting, there have been a few changes to the commission. I'd like to note that Commissioner Barnwell Fishburne, representing the 6th Congressional District, has resigned after serving on the commission for over 7 years. He served in a variety of positions on the commission, and for that, I want to say thank you to former Commissioner Barnwell Fishburne. Additionally, I'd like to take a moment to welcome our newest commissioner, Thomas Rhodes, who is filling one of the governor's at-large position. He was sworn in last week. Welcome, Commissioner Rhodes. I'll have the roll call. T.J. Johnson, present. Bill Dukes.
Present.
Pamela Christopher.
Present.
Max Metcalf.
Present.
Curtis Spencer.
Present.
Cyril Hemingway. Britt Blackwell.
Present.
Thomas Rhodes.
Present.
A quorum is declared. Is there a motion to approve the May 22nd, 2025 meeting agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the agenda is approved. If you'll join me standing as Commissioner Spencer opens our meeting in prayer, immediately followed by Commissioner Metcalf, who will lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to serve our great state. Guide us as we make decisions for the good of all. Lord, please protect all of our SCDOT family. Help all of us to respect the work zone so that everyone can return home. Bless our state and our country, Lord. Please protect our leaders and their families. Help us to do your will. Help us to be your people. In Christ's holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So this flag, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 6.1. Does anybody have any questions or revisions to the minutes of the March 20th, 25 commission meeting? Is there a motion to approve the March 2025 commission meeting minutes? Got a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Hearing no opposition, the minutes of the March 2025 commission meeting are approved. Next, we'll have before we report out from the last meeting, I wanted to acknowledge that pursuant to Article 6 of the commission bylaws, I've appointed Commissioner Rhodes to serve on the audit committee. We will now have the report out from the March 2025 audit committee meeting. I call on Commissioner Spencer as the chairman of the audit committee for his report.
Yes, at our March 2025 meeting, Internal Audit Services staff presented updates on 3 engagements: Environmental Services, Minority and Small Business Affairs, and the Office of Public Transit State Management Plan. Additionally, there was a follow-up on management action plans through January 31st, 2025. No committee actions were taken.
Continuing with item 6.4, does anybody have any questions or revisions to the minutes from the March 2025 audit committee meeting? Is there a motion to approve the March 2025 audit committee meeting minutes?
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the minutes from the March 2025 audit committee meeting are approved. Next on the agenda is a resolution. We have a resolution honoring the former Commissioner Tony K. Cox. The resolution is in honor of former Commissioner Tony K. Cox for his dedication and service to the SCDOT Commission. I call on Ted Creech to read the resolution.
Dedicated service as Commissioner of the South Carolina Department of Transportation, representing the 7th Congressional District. Whereas Tony K. Cox, a native of Horry County, South Carolina, served honorably on the South Carolina Department of Transportation Commission, representing the 7th Congressional District from 2017 to 2025. And whereas throughout his appointment, Mr. Cox served the Department of Transportation and the people of South Carolina faithfully and with continued excellence in his capacity as commissioner. And whereas Mr. Cox was elected by his fellow transportation commissioners to serve as chairman of the Transportation Commission in 2020 and again in 2023, and whereas Mr. Cox graduated from the University of South Carolina with a BA in Public Administration and Real Estate, completed the Harvard Graduate School of Design Advanced Management Development Program, and is a certified commercial investment member and a graduate of the Realtor Institute. And whereas after a long and successful 45-year career as a real estate professional, Mr. Cox retired in 2023 as Executive Vice President of Burroughs and Chapin Company Incorporated in Myrtle Beach. And whereas Mr. Cox has been an invaluable business and community leader whose advice and counsel have been highly valued across Horry County and South Carolina, having served in important leadership positions as board member of the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, the Grand Strand Business Alliance, the Coastal Educational Foundation, the South Carolina Bank Shares Incorporated, and whereas he served as chairman of the South Carolina Real Estate Commission and the Horry County Planning Commission, as a member of the Myrtle Beach Air Base Redevelopment Authority, and as advisory board member of the National Bank of South Carolina and Crescent Mortgage. And whereas his integrity, principles, and problem solving have led him to serve his community and the state of South Carolina in numerous capacities throughout the years, and whereas Mr. Cox is a trusted member of the communities and he represents and was a faithful representative to the people of South Carolina in his capacity as SCDOT Commissioner. And whereas Mr. Cox holds the trust and respect of his constituents, his fellow SCDOT commissioners, and SCDOT leadership, and whereas his experience in local development and planning played an integral role in making smart and strategic decisions with regard to transportation planning in the state of South Carolina. And whereas Mr. Cox was instrumental in advancing many crucial projects during his career, including the Carolina Crossroads, the Berlin G. Myers Expressway, the widening of I-26 statewide, and the widening of SC 31. And whereas he and his wife Marilyn are the parents of Keith and Elizabeth and proud grandparents of 4 grandchildren. And whereas he is a member of the Ocean Drive Presbyterian Church in North Myrtle Beach. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the South Carolina Department of Transportation Commission, assembled on this 22nd day of May 2025, that Mr. Tony K. Cox is recognized and commended for his exemplary public service to the citizens of the state of South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Creech. Is there a motion to adopt a resolution to honor former Commissioner Tony K. Cox?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution to honor former Commissioner Tony K. Cox is approved. Commissioners, if you'll please join me at the platform for the presentation and pictures with former Commissioner Tony K. Cox. Tony, would you like to have a few words?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I almost voted.
Which way?
Seriously. I almost made the motion for the minutes. Thank you all very much. Serving on this commission was not on my bucket list, and I got a phone call from the governor and decided it would be in my best interest to do it. And I tell you what, I have really enjoyed this. This is a fantastic agency, do a lot of good work from Justin's office, all the people in this building, and all the way out to the folks that take care of the highways. And good stewards of our tax dollars. And more importantly, I've made lifelong friends here. So I miss y'all. But thank you for the good work that you do.
If there's any commissioner that would like to have a word, you may do so.
Mr. Chair, if I can. You know I'm going to miss you because I told you when you were leaving. But just like you said, we miss you too. And I just appreciate all the service you've done for the state and the great friend you've been. And like I said, I was telling some of the new ones that, you know, I know we keep saying family, but you will wind up really being thankful for being on this commission because we are really close-knit and we are like family. So, Tony, I just know you're going to continue to do great things and bless people, and just feel very proud for you and of you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Tony. Tony, for two things. Number one, your service, but more importantly than that, your friendship that we built over the years, and means a lot to me. And I'll always treasure that. Thank you.
Well, Tony, when I first got selected to come to the commission, you were the first phone call I got to say, welcome. And, you know, I want to be the one to say to you that my time on the commission with you was very, very well spent and enjoyable. And not only that, but your friendship back in Horry County has been invaluable. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, Tony, it's a real privilege to be here today to see you and your family and recognize you. You and former Commissioner Branham were the first two people to call me when I got selected to come on to this body. And I don't forget those phone calls. Made me feel exceptionally welcome, and offering throughout the time that we were on here together that you would help anything I needed clarity on or kind of defining our role as commissioners. And it's because you served with such honor for 7 years. I'm sorry I wasn't here for all 7, but I sure do cherish the years being here together. Glad to see you and your family today. Congratulations to them for having you back. And but we know you're going to stay quite busy as well. But congratulations again. It's an honor.
I do want to second that. I mean, the first phone call, I just got on the commission, and first phone call I got was from you, Tony, and it was a very gracious, warm welcome. So I can imagine how you conducted yourself as chairman when you ran this commission. Well,
Mr. Chairman, if I could, Tony, I thank you for your service for my home district for all of those years, as well as your support of me being your successor. I thank you for openly welcoming me and spending time in preparing me for this position. And for God's sake, don't change your phone number.
Mr. Chairman, I received a letter from former Commissioner Fishburne that, if your commission's okay, I'd like to read aloud for y'all. Who's now serving us, staying in the family on the Port Authority Board, but dated May 21st, 2025. Mr. Cox, I truly regret not being there in person today to witness one of the most well-deserved recognitions and a resolution that SCDOT has bestowed. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for not only your 8 years of service, but more impressively, 8 years of taking my phone calls that admittedly came from left field at times. As a two-time chairman, you led us through the COVID era, and I recall your sincere interest in the welfare of the entire staff and all of the employees at DOT. Throughout your tenure, your dedication to the independent Republic of Myrtle Beach and the 7th Congressional District was unmatchable. I'm confident your fight for I-73 will bear fruit, and as you embark on your next project, take with you that the knowledge of your hard work and dedication have made a lasting impact on the entire state of South Carolina. In closing, know that I am watching your smiling mug online as Secretary Powell reads this. You're a great South Carolinian, Tony Cox. I just wish I could be there now to shake your hand. We will talk soon, my friend. Congratulations, J. Barnwell Fishburne.
Thank you. One more time for Tony Cox. Yes, sir.
I know I'm an ex-commissioner. I just want to thank Tony. It's been a long ride. We've both been on here for 8 years. And if you look back at DOT, past 8 years, we've had some challenges. One, we had COVID. Tony was the chairman, and that was a challenge. We picked a new secretary. That was a challenge. It was a good one. It turned out good, but I'm just saying, we've had all kind of challenges. And he's a super guy. Anytime I'd go to him and ask him something, he didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me his opinion. And that's what you got to do. And I just thank you for the 8 years that I served with you. And God bless you.
Thank you, G.
Next up is item 8, public comment. Mr. Secretary, are there any public comments?
We have no items for public comment.
Secretary of Transportation report. Secretary Powell now present item 9.1, the Secretary of Transportation report. And we'll call on the Government Affairs Director, Ted Creech, for item 9.2, the legislative report.
Well, thank you, Chairman Johnson. Welcome to Commissioner Rhodes. Certainly, it is great to see former Commissioner and Chairman Tony Cox here. I think he and I go back a long time to our days in the independent Republic of ORE, and know that you've played a special part in my career here, and so I'm just grateful that we were able to recognize you so much. I will start, as we always start, with our safety statistics. So as of May 5th, we have reported 270 traffic fatalities that have occurred in the state during that time. According to DPS statistics, that is 31 down from this time last year. Obviously a positive trend, but a trend we will continue to monitor over the course of the year. One thing that we look at when we do our projects for safety, we look at the root cause of fatalities, whether it's a roadway departure, whether it is hitting an object, whether it is at nighttime. One of those factors that we have in the state is distracted driving, and something that you will start seeing as a result of Governor McMaster signing the hands-free bill. earlier this month. We will start seeing signs going up across the state, basically reminding drivers that the state that it is a hands-free state to put down your devices, and hopefully that will help us continue our positive momentum in terms of reducing our fatality rate across the state. In terms of our vulnerable road users, our bicycle pedestrians, we are at 47. That is at the same number at the same time as last year. I will point out we are down 3 on bikes, and in tribute to Commissioner Cox, we are down 5 on mopeds, since we now report this because of him. And so one thing you will see today in your notebook is a ratification of extension on Morrison Drive in Charleston. There was a gap in the sidewalk there, and we had recently 2 kind of tragic fatalities there. We have an extension there to basically close that gap in the network. So this will be an important work to do as we continue all of our road safety audit efforts across South Carolina. In terms of our work program, we are now at $6.6 billion in current contract work across South Carolina. I will expect that number, when I report to y'all next month, will be topping $7 billion. And so, which will be the highest amount ever under contract in the state, with a tremendous amount of work thanks to the leadership of this commission and our General Assembly in making sure that we can deliver programs. In terms of kind of the split on the program here, you'll see that it follows your priorities. So our number one program right now in terms of contract backlog is on the pavement program at about $2.5 billion. We have just completed letting all of our pavement projects for the year. One item that you have before you today will be Deputy Secretary Perry, who will be going through the pavement program so that we can start letting some more projects. When we meet again, you'll see seeing that number start trending down as we get into paving season and we start paying out those contracts. Our interstates are the second biggest one, and as we go through the rest of this year, we'll see some additional projects going on. We just recently received notification from the U.S. Department of Transportation that we've been able to execute our grant agreements for both the I-95 bridge over Lake Marion, as well as the 526 interchange at Long Point Road. So continued effort and work happening all across the state. In terms of our construction program, on time, on budget percentages, both of these have improved since the last meeting. Our contracts and penalties have gone down from 21% to 19%. Our on-budget percentage went down from 2.7, a variance of 1.8%, positive variance 1.8%. Last meeting, it is now 2.76%, but continuing to manage within the contingencies that we put on our projects. We had approximately $12 million in change orders during the last 2-month period since our last meeting. I'll walk through kind of some of the points on these details, but Deputy Secretary Perry and I can answer any questions. The first 2 are related to design build contracts and utilities. So one of the things the General Assembly did in 2019 was pass Act 36, which is a bill that basically requires the department to pay for water and sewer relocation costs. So we will build those contract costs into it. On a design build project, when we issue the contract, the plans aren't complete. And so when we have to incorporate the water and sewer relocation costs into it, we have to come back as a change order. So both of these are change orders that were required basically for the utility relocations that we're required to do. In terms of our additional change orders, generally all of these are, on this next slide, are related to change in field conditions. Once we got in there, some things came up. Probably the 2 largest dollar value ones are on the I-26 and I-385 projects. Right now, we're in the process of replacing open grade friction course, which is pavement treatment we'd used for a number of decades. We are moving to what's known as stone matrix asphalt, which is should be a more durable, longer lasting asphalt course on our interstates. One of the things we have to make sure is the cross slope, that the road drains properly, and sometimes once we get into conditions, we had to do that. And so both of those change orders were related to the cross slopes associated, making sure that we get the best proper drainage on there once we got into the field. The next round of change order is kind of a miscellaneous category here. The large dollar one here is related to two intersection improvements that are going on Red Bank Road and Henry Brown Boulevard in Berkeley County. Basically is doing roadway repair work in addition to, because there's a sewer line replacement happening in the general vicinity by Berkeley County Water and Sewer. They've asked that those roadway repairs done, and they are funding those repairs. So it's kind of an addition to scope because of other things happening in the general area. And then lastly, our change orders here. Obviously, we have been working very hard to get South Carolina back to normal from Hurricane Helene. And obviously, we've used a mix of traditional procurements, design build procurements, emergency procurements, extensions. We have done these 4 change orders basically to help us get South Carolina repaired. We are rapidly wrapping up a lot of those repairs, and so by the 1-year anniversary, we should have most of the repairs across the state completed. There were 3 emergency procurements that were executed since the last commission meeting. Reporting those out. The first one here is on US 178 in North South Carolina at the Etheridge Mill Pond. If y'all recall, back in November, we had a significant flood event. Over 13 inches of rain fell in Orangeburg and Calhoun counties. There was a dam failure at this mill pond here that ruptured a pretty sizable segment of the roadway. Dam owner is looking at how they can, if they can't afford to make the repairs, it's a private dam that the roadway was on top of. We are doing a project basically to get an improvement done while they wait on whether the dam owner can do it so we can get it reopened. This damage occurred just outside of the North Auxiliary Airfield for the U.S. Air Force, where they will fly in the C-17s on training runs out of Charleston. The second one here is we discovered some scour on one of the bridges on US 501 heading into Myrtle Beach. And recognizing that that is a high-volume route, has required a lane closure, we executed an emergency contract basically to get all lanes open ahead of the beach season kicking off. And then lastly, the last one is related to additional repairs that were needed from Tropical Storm Debbie down in Jasper County. In terms of our 10-year plan, continue to make progress on our Big Four as we wrap up just a few more months of our 8th year of the 10-year plan. I'll walk through each one of those individually. Our railroad safety program, we now have 1,142 miles either in progress or complete. Across South Carolina, with another 87 miles in design, already initiated for design. So we are on track to address our 1,300-mile goal that y'all raised at your last meeting in Anderson in September. In terms of our bridge program, since the March meeting, we have gotten an additional 14 bridges out the door. I think some really good news, and I think a testimony to the hard work that our bridge team has done, as well as our government affairs team, as well as our partners in industry. The conference committee voted yesterday to include a full amount of $200 million for bridge repairs, which is excellent news to help build on to the money we always program for bridges. I would anticipate that we will come back to the commission in July, once we have access to the money and the governor signed the budget, to ask y'all to add additional bridges to the list so that we can continue to address our bridge challenge across South Carolina. In terms of our interstate modernization, we are, some news that has occurred. We have given the apparent best value winner to the Carolina Crossroads Phase 3C. That will be getting under contract, so that segment will turn to orange very shortly. That project is to basically widen to 8 lanes across, basically between US 278 and Bush River Road in Lexington County. Last week, we have opened the letting for I-95, and we will be making that formal award announcement at a certain point. And then we will hopefully see those under contract, and then we'll be able to adjust those as well. In terms of the new gas tax trust fund, again, a recognition of the courage and willingness of the General Assembly to invest in transportation. We have now gotten nearly $5 billion worth of revenue into that fund since it passed 8 years ago. 4.7 billion have been basically put towards construction projects. We have gotten $5.1 billion worth of work, and again, our cash balance of just under 1.5 billion basically is there for approximately $1.9 billion worth of work, appropriately programming and making sure that we have no idle dollars on hand to make sure that we can deliver projects for South Carolina. And then, as required by statute, here are the surplus properties that were released. The majority of them were given to local governments as part of road transfers that are occurring. There was one transfer in Greenville County to a development there. At your last meeting, you approved and initiated public comment on the Momentum 2050 plan. There's a summary in your notebook of the comments here. We received 189 total comments, 142 were relevant to the plan. The comments that we received are very consistent with what were in the plan document and what we discussed with the commission. Obviously, improving multimodal options in transit, addressing congestion and capacity, and improving the condition of our infrastructure. And appreciate the hard work by Deputy Secretary Quattlebaum and her team in getting this one across the lawn. We'll wrap up with a few accomplishments that we've done, and then I'll let Ted come up and share the legislative update and answer any questions the commission might have. A number of big things occurred really in the last few months. In early April, we held a SASHTO, so the member states of the SASHTO region, which go from Puerto Rico to West Virginia to Texas, and now as a new addition, Hawaii, came together. Over 175 participants came across the state. It was supported by Federal Highway Administration. We had Deputy Secretary of Transportation Stephen Bradbury come and visit us. So a great opportunity to share what we have done well and to learn what other states are doing well, and it's becoming a foundation for future events. I want to acknowledge Kelly Moore and Tina Kennedy, who were really the driving forces of making that event possible. Second major accomplishment over the last period was the groundbreaking of the Berlin G. Myers Parkway. That project, long awaited due to some permitting challenges that were on that project. But once we got to construction, it was completed early and under budget. It was a joint partnership project with the Infrastructure Bank, Dorchester County, and our regional mobility program through the Charleston Area Transportation Study. A lot of credit goes to, for those who have met him, Kevin Turner in District 6, who really was the project construction manager, brought this across the line. And then earlier this month, back in April, we announced that we will have blue light speed feedback trailers in our construction zones. That was a partnership with our friends at the Contractors Association as well as Asphalt Paving Association to try to make work zones for both contractors and our employees safer. Derek Frick, who works in our District 1 construction office, gave some really powerful, and you see his picture there, gave some really powerful testimony on the importance of driving safely in work zones and why we want to make sure that everyone, these blue feedback trailers, make sure that we can have everybody get home at the end of the day. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions the commission might have.
Secretary Powell, forgive me, would you go back to the original change order that you mentioned about utility relocation?
Yes, sir.
And explain what you were saying about
So so when a project happens, there are kind of two scenarios with utilities. There's utilities in our right-of-way, so power companies, water companies. If the utility was there first, we pay to move them. So basically, if we're widening a road and we get into their area, we do that. When we were there first and they have come into our right of way, the basic rule is that we the right to be a tenant on our right of way is that they relocate at the request of the DOT. And so back 6 years ago, the General Assembly passed Act 36 really to deal with small water utility companies. where we come in and say, hey, you need to move your lines, and it's a $1 million bill, that can have a real impact for a very small jurisdiction that might have a budget in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the legislature put that in there. When we do a bid build project, which are the overwhelming majority of our projects, that's already in the plans. We've already worked out those utility agreements. Because a design build project, you're working off of basically a 30% plan. As the plans get finalized, we have to kind of go to the utility companies and say, in order to move, hey, your water line is in the path of the improvements here. And so because the contract's already been executed, we have to come back with a change order to add it to the scope.
Okay. Last sentence. Clarify it.
One question I wanted to ask is, on the gas tax revenue.
Yes, sir.
What was the 10-year projection? I know we're in year 7, but do you recall was there one made?
We can get the specific numbers. There are some projections out there. I just don't have them in front of me. What I would say is, the last time I looked at it, the gas tax had generally underperformed to a certain extent, not materially, but it was a little less percentage growth than we had. And you got to keep in mind, we had COVID in the middle of that, where we had traffic down 47% at one point. So that translated to lower gas tax receipts. But we've seen other revenues perform better. So there was a fee, kind of a modification on a trucking fee. That has come in better than anticipated. The infrastructure maintenance fee, which was kind of replacing the sales tax, has overall performed better. But we can get you that final count, what the delta is.
Impressive amount, actually, in 7 years.
We'll now have the legislative report by Director Creech.
Good morning again, Mr. Chairman. The General Assembly adjourned its regular session this year on May 8th. This was the first of a 2-year session, so the legislature can continue work next January on any bills that did not make it through the entire legislative process this year. The House and Senate passed different versions of the state budget for upcoming fiscal year 25-26. So a conference committee of both House members and Senate members met this week and reached a compromise on the state budget. The conferees earlier in the week had received a much higher than expected revenue forecast from the state, so they had a little more flexibility in budgeting. The full House and Senate are scheduled to return on May 28th to pass the conference committee's budget, so that will then go to the governor for consideration. Specific to SCDOT, the budget proposal provides the $200 million for the additional bridge funding that the secretary mentioned, $35 million for Hurricane Helene expenses not reimbursed by the federal government, $1 million non-recurring for off-interstate litter pickup. The budget also includes state employee pay raises of 2% or more, depending on occupation and time in service, and appropriations that cover most of the expected cost increases of state employee health plan premiums. This year's budget also includes 2 important new provisos that SCDOT requested. One allows us to continue retaining funds relative to certain indirect costs associated with our federal funding, rather than having to send that money back to the state general fund. Another proviso enables us to continue using a streamlined process to establish values of small parcels of property we purchase for needed right-of-way. Without those 2 provisos, SCDOT could have experienced increased costs and reduced funding totaling about $15 million annually. So through this budget, generally, the legislature recognized the need for and expressed support for our mission, and we thank them for the resources they have provided us for roads and bridges in South Carolina. Regarding other legislation, SCDOT was successful in amending a bill that updates the state's 811 call before you dig law. The amendment enables our in-house maintenance employees to continue working in our rights of way as they do now without having to call 811. Then SCDOT supported the passage of the mobile device hands-free bill that the Secretary mentioned earlier, in addition to, I guess, improving and enhancing safety for across the state. This brings the state closer to compliance with U.S. DOT standards for distracted driving state laws. And so our interest was enhanced driver safety and better ensuring that our federal funding won't be negatively impacted in the future by the state not complying with U.S. DOT standards. So the 811 bill and the hands-free bill were signed into law by the governor last week. And then finally, Commissioners, our Government Affairs Office will continue monitoring some 155 bills into next year. And we're also processing 32 road dedication resolutions that were passed this year. It's a report pending any questions.
Thank you, Secretary Powell and Director Creech. Are there any questions for either one? Thank you. We'll now move to new business, item 10.1, payment improvement program. The first item of new business is 10.1, approval of payment improvement program. Deputy Secretary Perry will present on this item.
Well, thank you, Chairman, members of the commission, Commissioner Cox, Commissioner Branham. It's wonderful to see y'all. I always say, once you're a commissioner, you're always a commissioner. You've got a wonderful husband, a wonderful dad, and wonderful granddad. And I told y'all I was from North Myrtle Beach, but I didn't know till this morning that I was baptized in your church. Yes, sir, I was. So with that, I'm very excited to present the 2025-2026 pavement improvement program. I also want to recognize our Director of Maintenance Office, Jeff Terry, Chris Kelly. It's a heavy lift for them and their staff to prepare this list, as well as coordination with our district staff. So the pavement improvement program really covers all of our pavements. It's, as Secretary Powell said, it's our biggest investment. This year it's $726 million. It covers our interstates, our major roads, which would be our primary routes, our US and SC routes, as well as our secondary roads, which we break into farm to market roads and neighborhood streets. As you can imagine, we have all the tools in the toolbox to try and improve our pavements for the state of South Carolina. So one of the first ones is preservation. For the preservation program, we use that for roads that are in good condition. So again, we're trying to get ahead. A lot of those might be roads we paved at the front end of our 10-year plan, but they get to the point where if we don't do something, they could shift from good to fair, and we want to keep these pavements in good condition as long as possible. That's around 13 million of the 576 million that's non-interstate. And it could be chip sealing, crack sealing, things of that nature. The picture does a good job of demonstrating what a pavement preservation project looks like. Preventative maintenance, that's where the pavement's shifted from good to fair, but it's not a full rebuild. So we might be going with 2 inches of mill and then 2 inches of new asphalt. Again, trying to keep that pavement from going to a poor condition. And then finally, we have the full rehabilitation reconstruction. That's where we might have to do reclamation. We might have to do cement, a modified recycled base course, but that's where it's got to a poor condition, and we're having to really spend a lot of capital to try and bring that back to good. So here's the bar chart that shows our 10-year spending plan that the commission has approved for pavements. Again, last year I came to you in May and it was 719. This year it's 726. And we spread that across, again, our interstates, our primary routes, and our secondary routes. It's good to point out that between our interstate routes and our primary routes, that 77% of our traffic are on those roads, which is why we have such a large investment, because that's where most of our people are driving. It's always good to look at the metrics. I know Secretary Powell talked about COVID. As you can see, we had a big spike in cost. COVID, it's somewhat leveled out. But COVID increased costs for all things, not just in South Carolina, but in all DOTs when it came to construction. We've also had some shortages on cement. As you know, we're one of the fastest growing states in the country, and we're not the only ones that get cement. It's also part of the building industry. So a lot of our contracting partners were rationing cement. So we had to shift a couple of years ago to more of an asphalt-based reconstruction rehab because our contractors were just having struggles getting the cement that we were putting out in contracts. So as I mentioned, our interstates carry 30% of our traffic. It's 851 miles, so really a small amount of our 41,000 centerline miles of roadway. But our goal is to get the interstates to 92% good condition within the 10-year plan. And we're making good progress. We've gone from 65 to 80. For the primary routes, again, the ones that carry 47% of our traffic, that's around 10,000 miles, our goal is to get to 53% good. And again, we've more than doubled the percent good in the 7 years. Once you go to our secondaries, again, the ones that carry the least amount of traffic compared to interstates and primaries, this is the farm to markets around 10,000 miles. Which carries 17% of our traffic, and our goal is 47% good. So again, making continuous progress. And finally, our neighborhood streets, which is really about half of our network of routes, 20,000 miles, but only carries 6% of the traffic in South Carolina. And our goal here is 25%, and we're making progress there as well. So we always get asked a lot, especially when we go to our partners with CTCs, MPOs, and COGs, how do we break up our pavement program? For interstates, we don't care about what county it's in, because if you're driving, I always like to say, from Columbia to Rock Hill, or if you're driving up to Greenville, or if you're driving to Sumter on I-20, you don't know what county you're in. You just know you're on an interstate route. So that $150 million, we just rank against all the other interstate routes for condition. But when it comes to the counties, when you get to the primary routes and the secondary routes, we go by allocation of lane miles. So if, for instance, if Dorchester County has 5% of the primary routes in the state when it comes to lane miles, then they will get 5% of that $347 million, or $354 million. So we're a data-driven agency. Per Act 114, passed by the legislature in 2007, we have to use data to choose our projects. And the data to choose projects for pavements are housed in engineering directives. We have 4. And we have one for interstates, one for primaries, one for the farm to market, and one for neighborhood streets. But this is the data that we use. Obviously, the pavement quality and the IRI, which is the International Roughness Index, are the two big drivers. Again, the condition of the pavement, but we also take into account the volume of traffic, the truck traffic. We also look to see if there are any safety projects that overlap. The Rural Road Safety Program is a really good example where, based on your leadership, we dedicate $50 million a year to the new gas tax, rural road safety projects. So we try and partner on those projects if there's a pavement project coming through. So this is the data that we use to pick the projects. And I know this is hard to see, but it's in your commission notebook. But this is the allocation by county and by route off interstate. Again, it shows that every county is going to get pavement, whether it be on primary routes, whether it be secondary routes, whether it be neighborhood streets. So today I'm coming to request your consideration to approve the interstate, the 4-year plan for interstate routes, as well as the off interstate, which equates to 732 centerline miles of paving work. And as Secretary Powell mentioned, what we do is we break the non-interstate pavements into 4 lettings: September, November, January, March. Again, trying to spread the work out. This is based on input from industry, from our asphalt partners, from our concrete partners, to make sure that we weren't overloading the market all at one time so they could react. So if one contractor gets a bunch of work in September, they might throttle back and not bid on as much work in November. Again, they're trying to balance that workload. So this is another cluttery map, but it shows all the interstate pavement work that we're doing. The orange box is what you've already approved that's already in construction, and the other 4 boxes will be the next 4 years to round us out with the 10-year program, which would be the $150 million a year. And again, as you can see, it's all over. So with that, I stand ready for any questions you may have of me and request consideration for the 3 motions. The 3 motions, I'll kind of simplify them. The first one's really the overall program and allows the secretary to adjust as we get bids in. And he'll report that back to you for ratification. The second motion deals with the primary routes and the secondary routes, again, the farm to market and neighborhoods. And the third motion is to approve the 4-year interstate pavement list.
We have 3 motions, and we'll take up those motions separately. Vice Chair Dukes, will you read the first motion?
Sure. I make a motion in accordance with the commission-approved Transportation Asset Management Plan and the 10-year plan for rebuilding South Carolina's roads. The commission approves the recommended 2025-2026 pavement improvement program. The Secretary is authorized to adjust the program as necessary in the future to align to projected versus actual variances in revenues or program expenses. Any adjustments to the funding levels made by the Secretary are to be ratified by the Commission.
Does anyone have any questions or revisions to motion number 1?
Mr. Chairman, I will abstain from voting on motion 1 due to one of the roads having a conflict with.
Okay, that's noted, your abstention. Any further questions or revisions?
You need a second on that motion?
No. We've got motion, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Hearing no opposition, motion number 1 is approved. Vice Chair Dukes, will you read the second motion?
Sure, I make a motion in accordance with Act 114 of 2007, which requires the SCDOT Commission to select projects for funding based on objective and quantifiable factors. The Commission approves the Secretary's recommended ranked project list for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the major roads, farm-to-market secondary roads, and neighborhood streets as part of the 2025-2026 Pavement Improvement Program for South Carolina. The proposed 2025-2026 Pavement Improvement Program is to be open for 21 days of public comment. A summary of substantive comments will be available to the Commission for its consideration.
Any questions about or revisions to motion number 2?
Mr. Chairman, I will abstain from voting on motion number 2 due to a conflict with one of the farm to market roads.
That abstention is noted as
Secondary
well.
roads. Thank you.
Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
After the second, there'll be discussion before we vote?
Yeah, is there any discussion?
Second, sir.
You can go ahead and ask.
I'll go ahead now. Okay, and Rob, obviously with hundreds of miles, there's no way like I used to do at the county and go out and check them out. So there's just no way to do it. So the system, just have to trust the system. So with the farm to market roads, secondary road, neighborhood roads, whatever, is that local government going out and kind of grading the roads, or is it DOT staff doing it, or both, or?
That's a great question, Mr. Blackwell. We actually send out pavement vans that will check the roads. They do it usually wintertime and start of the next year. So it's us that do it, and that's where you get the scores as far as the pavement quality. Now, there is a requirement for the CTCs to spend a certain amount of funding on our secondary roads for paving, and that's an average. And I know you were on the CTC, so you're aware, but I always like to tell folks, between the local sales tax projects, CTCs, and us, and the SIB, there are really 4 transportation networks or agencies in the state of South Carolina. So we try and partner with the local governments. We'll help them. We'll give them lists and recommendations. Our resident maintenance engineers will for the sections that they have to spend. And some of them follow them strictly, some of them don't. But yeah, we attend those meetings to try and coordinate with them too, sir.
I mean, when you come up with your road list, you just go by the poorest, do you just rank it in priority of need?
Yes, sir. Again, we use those engineering criteria to rank them. Yep. Thank you, Jake.
Mr. Chairman. And Commissioner Blackwell, kind of to echo on to Deputy Secretary Perry's comments here. So in terms of the assessment that he was referring to, so we have pavement vans that basically go with lasers and measure the roughness and the bumpiness on the roads. So those go out. We also have contractors doing that. That's on a cycle of on 2 to 3 years, every road in the state is driven over and gotten an assessment done. So it does capture, and so there'll be times where a road was maybe number 5 on the list and we got to number 4, but because of a log truck, a logging operation happened on another road, it got ripped apart. And so we do try to capture the changing conditions that occur through that. But again, it comes back to the 2 highest kind of ranking criteria here are the kind of basically the condition of the pavement. And then what I would say is the differentiator is traffic volume. So if a road has, if both roads are equally bad, the road that has 1,000 cars a day on it will likely get repaved over the road that has 500 cars a day on it.
Is there any further discussion? We've got a motion, second, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, motion number 2 is approved. Vice Chair Dukes, will you present the third motion, please?
Make a motion in accordance with Act 114 of 2007, which requires the SCDOT Commission to select projects for funding based on objective and quantifiable factors. The Commission approves the Secretary's recommended rehabilitation projects along with the preventive maintenance projects for the interstate system as part of the 4-year interstate pavement plan for South Carolina. The proposed 4-year interstate pavement plan is to be open for 21 days of public comment. A summary of substantive comments will be available to the Commission for its consideration.
Does anyone have any questions about or revisions to motion number 3 on item 10.1? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll second that.
Motion, is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, motion number 3 is approved. With the approval of these 3 motions for item 10.1, 2025, 2026 payment improvement program is approved.
Thank you, Chairman. And Vice Chairman, I think somebody owes you a bottle of water for reading all 3 of those motions. That was a mouthful, sir.
I'm sorry, sir?
Oh, no, I was just thanking him for the motions.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we're moving to 10.2, sir.
We'll now move to the next item of business is item 10.2, ratification of extensions. Deputy Secretary Perry will also present this item.
So since we last met, we've had 6 extensions. Those have varied. Obviously, the first one Secretary Powell highlighted, which was the one on Morrison Drive. That's where things have changed with redevelopment. There were some condos built on the ocean side of the river side on Morrison, and while there were sidewalks on the inland side, there weren't on the river side. We also put in some crosswalks. So we coordinated that with our partners with the city, and the developer of the condos is putting in a signal and a connection to the Ravendale Bridge. So again, trying to continue to make our roadways safe for not just motorists, but the vulnerable road users as well. And then the other 5, 2 of them are bridge deck repairs, where we had some failures of some patches on bridge decks that we had to just jump on immediately on interstates because we can't have lanes closed on our interstate for extended period of times, and then some extensions or for patching exercises for some asphalt patching. So with that, there were 6 extensions since your last meeting, and I respectfully request ratification of those extensions, pending any questions.
Thank you, Deputy Perry. Does anybody have any questions about our revisions to item 10.2? Is there a motion to approve item 10.2, ratification of extensions? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.2, ratification of extensions is approved. Thank you, Deputy Perry. The next item of new business is item 10.3, revision of the 2024 to 2033 STIP. Deputy Secretary Quattlebaum will present on this item.
Good morning. In section 10.3, we are requesting approval for the revision of the 2024-2033 statewide transportation improvement program to include 5 items totaling $11.81 million in the Regional Mobility Program funding. That is the funding that is allocated to the MPOs and COGs to address local transportation needs. The inclusion items are as follows. The first one is $9 million in PE right-of-way and construction phases of work for 1 intersection improvement and 3 signal improvement projects in the Coates MPO region. The intersection project is located at Old Lexington Highway and Wessinger Road in Lexington County. The signal improvement projects are located on Forest Drive, North Beltline Boulevard, and Trenholm Road in Richland County. The second item is $980,000 in PE right-of-way and construction phases of work for 1 intersection improvement and a corridor study in the Catawba region. The intersection is SC 55 and Lincoln Road in York County. And the corridor study is SC 9 from Pine Street to Memorial Park Drive in the city of Lancaster. The third item is $1.5 million in a PL phase of work for a corridor study along US 17 bypass and SC 707 in Georgetown County, which is located in the GSATS MPO region. The fourth item is $200,000 in the PL phase of work for an update to the long-range transportation plan in the LATS MPO region. And the final item is $130,000 in the PL phases of work for a hydro study on the Edisto Beach Causeway and an update to the long-range transportation plan in the Low Country COG region. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions about our revisions to item 10.3? Is there a motion to approve item 10.3 revisions to the 2024 through 2033 STIP?
I move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.3, revision to the 2024 through 2033 STIP is approved. Thank you, Deputy Quattlebaum. The next item of new business is item 10.4, the 21-day public comment period. Deputy Quattlebaum will also present on this item.
Okay. We are requesting approval to initiate a 21-day public comment period and to amend the STIP to include the following projects. The first one is $6.15 million in PE right-of-way and construction phases for the replacement of the Roundtree Road Bridge over the branch of the Thickety Creek in Cherokee County. This bridge is currently closed. The next item is $6.15 million in the PE right-of-way and construction phases of work for the replacement of the Beaver Dam Bridge over the Thickety Creek in Cherokee County. This bridge is also currently closed. The next item is $2.4 million in the PE right-of-way and construction phases of work for the replacement of the Park Road Bridge over a tributary to the Broad River. This is in Chester County, and this bridge is also currently closed. The next item is $2.41 million in PE right-of-way and construction phases of work for the replacement of the Smith Road Bridge over Morris Branch in York County. This bridge is also currently closed. The next item is $7.7 million in PE right-of-way and construction for the replacement of the SC 413 bridge over Rocky Creek in Anderson County. This bridge is structurally deficient and posted for load restrictions. The last item is $6.875 million in PE right-of-way and construction phases for the replacement of the SC 462 bridge over U-Haul Creek in Jasper County. This bridge is structurally deficient and currently posted for load restrictions. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions about or revisions to item 10.4?
Can I ask you a question? Are these bridges, I know this moves them up, our action, are several of them probably already on the bridge replacement list?
That is correct.
I think it's important. That's a strong signal about how far we have to go to get the bridges in this state up to grade. That this is the challenge y'all have, is that suddenly something that we know is in demand now is becoming a higher demand because of the safety issue and having to close them.
Mr. Chairman, just to echo onto the question here from you. So if you recall, your policy that y'all adopted in the last bridge list, we basically have an automatic, particularly for the closed bridge. So our priority has been, if a bridge closes, regardless of where it is across South Carolina, it moves onto the list. So that is essentially the action that you're taking here. We are working very hard to try to bring down and eliminate load postings on our primary network. And so that's been part of that list. But part of it is just a recognition of the policy that y'all have already put into effect, that we take a closure seriously and we work expeditiously to resolve it. But again, a reflection of the 2,500 bridges that we have in South Carolina over 60 years old, and why the investment the General Assembly made is so important.
Okay. Happy to make the motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 10.4, the 21-day public comment period. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.4, the 21-day public comment period is approved. Thank you, Deputy Quattlebaum.
Thank you.
The next item of new business is item 10.5, changes to the state highway system. Deputy Secretary McCautry will present on this item.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Secretary Powell, and Commissioner Cox. It's been a pleasure working with you over the past 7 years. Item 10.5, changes to the state highway system. Request commission approval of the additions, deletions, and revisions to the state highway system as shown in the attached pages, and the authority to convey right-of-way to the appropriate entities. This request includes 16 segments of the secondary road system, resulting in a reduction to the secondary system of 0.998 center line miles, equating to 1.996 lane miles. As a special note, Secretary Powell and Deputy Secretary Perry negotiated with West Columbia for one of the 16 segments. This ends my request for approval.
Does anyone have any questions about or revisions to item 10.5? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, item 10.5, changes to the statewide highway system is approved. Thank you, Deputy McCautry. It's now time for commissioner comments. Vice Chair Dukes.
Well, I'll just go back and again reiterate what I said about Tony, how much I enjoyed serving with you and our friendship. And thank you very, very much for your service. And again, to the staff, appreciate everything that the staff does in making our roads convenient and safe for our citizens. Thank you.
Commissioner Christopher.
Yes, Tony, it has been a pleasure, and I've learned a great deal from you, and I love how you kind of taken all of us that are new under your wing, so I will miss that and for consulting. But I know you're going to do great things, and thank you for your service, absolutely. I would also like to bring some attention to a couple of things. So Kelly Moore recently spoke to the Women in Transportation group, and that was an international seminar that she was at, which was held in Toronto. And so she was asked to be the guest speaker. So I think that says a lot for our SCDOT. And so very proud of you, Kelly, and everything you continue to do for us. Thank you. Additionally, I just wanted to bring attention to, I know we all saw it, but we now have Tina as our new Director of Public Engagement, and they are just continuing to do wonderful things. We really appreciate everything y'all are doing in public engagement for us. It's really taken us to a new level, so thank you. Other than that, just enjoy it, being on the commission, and we're so glad to have all you guys that are new up here, too.
Commissioner Metcalf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, it's great seeing former Commissioners Cox and Branham here. You're very high on our list of favorites, so thank you so much for being here, and for the family of the Cox family for being here with you, Tony. A couple things I want to point out. One, a significant thank you and congratulations to the District 3 team and the state office contractors and other subcontractors, all that were involved in the Highway 290 divergent diamond interchange that just went into the system this past Monday morning. It is working. The video, whoever did the video footage, I'm probably thinking somebody over in that corner of the wall. It's fantastic. I've shared it numerous times. And I know we had to be patient over the years with that project. It was not easy given the utilities and everything else in the area and just the amount of traffic at Highway 290 with I-85, significant commercial traffic, vehicular traffic of people crossing up and down the interstate. So congratulations to everybody. I hope the team at District 3 is watching or listening and know how much we appreciate that from the commission standpoint. I do want to point out that does not solve problems on I-85. So I know we're continuing to look at short-range and long-range studying on I-85 with the congestion that continues to be there from Spartanburg down going towards Anderson. So Commissioner Christopher and I, we stay in touch with that. But I will say the other section of 85 going north, Spartanburg, Cherokee County, is doing very well, it seems. And again, we continue to see great progress on the interstate. So keep it up. Thank you all for every role you have with the agency. We appreciate it.
Commissioner Spencer.
Yeah, former Commissioner Branham and former Commissioner Cox, thank y'all for being here. I had breakfast with Commissioner Branham the other morning, and I'll tell you, he's fully engaged and he knows what's going on out there. He's not backed off a bit. Wish you both good health and happiness and success, and just wish you the best. Thank you for your service. A couple things I wanted to say to Commissioner Barnwell, who I think's listening in. We'll stay on I-95, and we won't forget about your efforts there and push that hard to get that repaired, get that solved and make it better. I wanted to just offer a word of praise for SCDOT, the communications network, the procedures and everything is really a good system. And I had something happen the other day. Somebody in my district called and said, Mr. Spencer, we've got something I want you to consider. And it was a local neighborhood paving project. And so he told me all about it. And I said, well, that's going to be a hard pull. They're paving it now, okay? And I said, we'll see what we can do. So I called and got in touch with the district maintenance, district construction engineer and Wade War. And I just pat him on the back and his crew.
they were able to, there was one road left off of this project, and it was one road in a neighborhood, and it just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. And I called him, and he got in touch with CTC chairman, and the next day they were paving this one little road, and it was added that quickly. And I said, this is a miracle. And I just think that having that communication and that flexibility, they were able to add it. It just made a lot of sense. It's common sense. And I just give them, pat on the back. So that's all. And welcome, Commissioner Rhodes. Where'd he go? Oh, he's left. Welcome him too. Thank you.
Commissioner Hemingway.
Okay, thank you, Tony, again. I see, I've only been here 2 months, obviously, but I see your fingerprints on many, many projects, and thank you for setting the stage for congratulations that I'm not, that's not appropriate for me, but now roads are getting addressed and approved, and I'm getting calls, and I know that you're responsible, but I don't necessarily share that with the constituents, but thank you. Again, with only a short time being here, I'm continuing along the learning curve, but I am daily impressed with the professionalism of staff and the logic behind the projects and the planning, and despite public opinion, there is a lot of logic and reasoning behind everything that we do and everything you do, and I will continue to defend you in those situations where people continue without all of the information at their disposal, offering their opinions that are very, very wrong. So thank you for all that you do.
Commissioner Blackwell.
I guess this is a standard thing we do at the end of, okay. I'm kind of a newbie too. Boy, that sounds nice, as old as I am, being a newbie. But it's an honor once again to serve here. The high character of these two gentlemen here shows me, and I'm honored to serve with these gentlemen. I wish I'd served with the two of y'all because that's class, and 20 years of, or more than that, of politics. It's nice to serve with honorable people, and it would have been a pleasure to serve with you. And Sal made some comment about the comments you hear about the roadways. Of course, everybody likes to complain about the roads, but I can certainly say after being in the Southwest several weeks ago and driving the roads in Nevada and Arizona and Utah, South Carolina is doing a pretty good job.
Thank you. Well, being last, I always give you the opportunity to say things that have already been said, but, the first thing I'd like to do, Tony, is just thank you for your service to the commission and to the state. You made us all proud while you were here, and I'm sure you will continue. Also like to recommend former Commissioner Branham for your service. You've been a good friend right from the beginning, and we do appreciate you all. I understand that former Commissioner Barnwell Fishburne is on the line listening, and I won't take lightly your comments about keep 95 on the radar. You got it, partner. I'll do that for you. And lastly, I'd like to thank the staff of DOT for the jobs that they do. Sometimes it goes unnoticed, or you think it goes unnoticed about your value to the state and your value to our organization. But just know that we're absolutely proud of everything you do. And we notice the responsiveness, and we notice your dedication and commitment to the tasks that are put in front of you. And we thank you for that. With that, the next item on the agenda is a motion for adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Hearing no objection, the meeting of May 22nd, 2025 is adjourned at approximately 10:20 a.m. The next commission meeting, any audit committee meeting is scheduled for July 17th, 2025 here in Columbia. Thank you all for attending.